and they win the NFC South.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. We are back. It is Monday. Hope you guys had a great start to your week. Woke up feeling blessed, ready to go with this week. So, today we have our first film session of the season. If you're new to this, it's been a while. You know, we just went through the entire off season. I didn't do any of these. So if you're new to this, this is a sort of film session where I try to, yes, we're watching film, but try to keep it digestible for your average fan. I don't go into tons of schemes, coverages. You know, I try to keep the verbiage clean, clear, you know, like I said, digestible for your average fan. A step above your average viewing experience when you're watching the game. Just trying to notice the things that you typically won't catch during your average viewing experience. So if you guys do want something that's more in-depth that goes into coverages and schemes and fits and things like that, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. But for right now, trying to keep things, you know, digestible. I keep using that adjective because I think that just fits what I try to do. So the Bucs came out throwing the ball hot, ready to go. Kyle Trask, arm was warmed up. Josh Grizzard saying, let's throw the ball 20 plus yards down the field immediately. So let's get a good look here at what happens. So we'll pause it here. Keith came in motion, as we saw with Liam Cohen. Tons of motion throughout this video. You'll see in pretty much every single offensive snap, there's some motion involved. You get a play action as well, and this is to start the game. You're just play action to Rachaad White, motion to move over Keith, who's laying a great block right here, and you're going to be looking for Jalen McMillan down the field. Not sure what's going on right here. Let's run that back. 72 ends up entirely turns the wrong way. He just gets thrown backwards by the defensive tackle. So thankfully, with the play action, it does add some extra time. Kyle Trask is still able to get it off before that defender gets there. He takes the hit, stands in the pocket, shout out Kyle Trask, and he sees Jalen McMillan running free. And that's a hell of a catch by Jalen McMillan to go up, snag it with a man in his face, and come down with it. That's how you start 2025 right there. And then here is that second 20-plus yard catch. Once again, we'll see Keith in motion. Lines up off tackle. And, of course, it's Keith. He'll be laying a nice block. Goes further over to pull, help out the left tackle over there. I mean, there's 3 on 1 guy right here. That guy's going nowhere. There's a double team right here. That guy's going nowhere. We got a man on the ground and a beautiful one-on-one right here by the right guard. Here's Emeka Egbuka. You got Rachaad White if you really want to in the flat right here. This is a no-no. So he's going to end up going over to Emeka, 20 plus yards down the field. Strong hands. Emeka's going to come down with it. Box out his defender, jump up, and it's a 21-yard gain. First down, Tampa. All right, Bucs are on defense now. I wanted to call out, like I already said this in my reaction/recap video, the fact that our backups were able to go against these Titans starters is a very big deal for so many of these rookies. And on this play, Jacob Parish is the one that makes the stop. But, I mean, you got Cam Ward. We saw Tony Pollard. We saw Calvin Ridley, who honestly did torch us a little bit during his time in the game. We got Chiga Kwankwo. The Titans went out and signed Tyler Lockett. We saw him. I mean, that's a probably 32-plus-year-old slot receiver playing in a preseason game for the Tennessee Titans. And the Bucs defense backups able to get some run against them. Really, the only starter I see here is Servassier Dennis. With how much time he's missed with injury, it makes sense that they did want to get him in here and continue to get reps. He's still a young guy going into year 3. And year 1, he didn't play. He was just a backup player. Year 2, he was the starter, but ends up getting hurt in week 4 against the Eagles. Here we are. Let's get him some reps. And I think he had a decent game. So here, Cam Ward looking down his receiver right here in the middle. Receiver's going to sit down, and Jacob Parish is going to be able to drive on this very well, very strong, with perfect timing. And this is what you want to see from Jacob Parish. it's why the Bucs drafted him. Great instincts there. Ball comes out. That's an incomplete pass. Reset. That's exactly what you want to see. So I'll let this one run in full speed again. This is a big deal. This is our rookie. So Josh Hayes is playing outside. While Parish isn't playing your typical, like, in the box nickel, he's a little bit further back. He's still there to make the play. On this play, great run by Rashad. Some great blocking by a couple of guys here. I think this is the play that Rachaad White ended up getting injured on. With that groin injury, it was announced today that it is just day-to-day, thankfully. Don't want to see injuries in the preseason, but day-to-day, we'll take it. He can rest up. It's not a big deal. Here, want to watch Payne Durham and Jalen McMillan. These two guys here. He seals this off perfectly, Payne Durham, and then Jalen McMillan takes out two guys that are chasing Rachaad White. So that is great stuff there from your second-year receiver. So there's what I'm talking about, completely sealing off that edge right there. McMillan is setting up for a block right here. Sterling Shepard, I'd say kind of lets go of his guy a little bit too early here. But we do still have McMillan locked in. And he ends up, probably unintentionally, I'll give him that, taking out two guys here. Both fall down at the same exact time, but that is a 12-yard run for Rachaad White. So we'll let this run at full speed again. Great blocking here. Rachaad White, good vision to just immediately bounce it outside. Sterling Shepard, would like to see him hold on to this block right here a little bit longer. But he does get by. McMillan, like I said, good job there. But when this corner sees Rachaad White bumping it all the way outside, it does create a disadvantage for McMillan with this cornerback having that outside leverage. So he's just able to get off of him there. Still doesn't get his hands on Rachaad. So he did enough. Two guys fall down. Rachaad dives forward for a 12-yard gain. And unfortunately, that is an injured groin right there. All right, next play here. Shawn Tucker is now in the game after Rashaad's injury. Rakim Jarrett is going over and lining up off tackle as a receiver. So interesting little note there. And you'll see he ends up pulling like a guard or a tackle. Green comes in motion. He's just going to pull around and find someone to block over here in space. But guys to watch right here. Number 80 does a great job here laying a block. 72 is going to take it to the next level, and then Elijah Klein and the right tackle here do a great job sealing this off. So overall, great run blocking. We talked a lot about coaches as well in their press conference, how impressed they were with this backup offensive line group. Once again, just building depth all over the place. It's what this team needed, and we'll continue to see 2 more preseason games to go, but the depth is looking way better than it was last year. So here's what I mean. 80, great job here. No chance he's getting a Shawn Tucker with 4.3 speed. 72 is getting to the next level. The linebacker here, Klein, and 60, Jordan, are completely sealing off these two guys here. So things working out perfectly. You may want to see Green take out 35 right here. Doesn't matter, though. It ends up still working out for Shawn Tucker, who just... There's too much speed. Shawn Tucker has so much juice. The cornerback has this right here. He has the leverage. He has the angle. Shawn Tucker's just too fast. Able to break a guy there. Take it all the way down to 1 or 2 yard line. Good job by 85 here. He doesn't end up taking this block here, but ends up working down the field. Continue to find someone to put your hands on. That's all you got to do as a receiver. And gave Shawn Tucker something to work with. All right, so weird play right here. There has to be some sort of miscommunication on defense. This is the only low light I believe I threw in the video. Jacob Parish, like I said, some miscommunication. Was lined up on this side of the field, and right now he's currently running all the way over to this side of the field to try and get something fixed. And it just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. So I'll let it run. Servassier Dennis ends up moving towards the interior, and Parish ends up playing this deep third. So I'll pause it right there. Calvin Ridley is running into a lot of open space. And if you see the guy's number right here, that is that's second-year edge rusher Chris Brazwell playing this far back in coverage. When Calvin Ridley is running into space with Chris Brazwell, it's probably not a good thing. I mean, by the time he throws the ball, Cam Ward is not even on your screen. And like I said, Chris Brazwell is the closest guy to Calvin Ridley. There is nobody near him. There has to be some busted coverage here. I mean, you have 26 and 25 back here. It's not even on my screen. But they're back there just playing super deep. Someone should be in this area, I have to believe. So, great effort by Brazwell to chase him down as an edge rusher, chasing down an elite wide receiver. But yeah, something was broken on this play. All right, next play here, a great, another example of Kyle Trask being able to stand in the pocket, take a hit, and deliver a dime. Devin Culp is going to move in motion and try to lay a block. I love Culp. He's still not quite there yet when it comes to blocking, but receiving, he can bring something, I think, that just adds another element to this offense. I'd love to see him get targeted a little bit more. But like I said in the blocking game, it's not quite there yet. So he comes over and pulls, has to lock this down right here. This is one-on-one, your guy right here. And it just doesn't really work out. So Kyle Trask has two guys coming into his face, and he's looking at preseason Hall of Famer Ryan Miller. That's what we're going to continue to call him. And watch Kyle Trask just back foot deliver a dime. Finds him, throws him into space. Strong hands, holds on after the hit. Preseason Hall of Famer. Great throw by Trask, despite the pressure of two Titans in his face. So another talking point coming out of the game was Chris Brazwell. Second round pick last year. A lot of guys want to see a lot more from him. We got Yaya, we got Hassan Reddick, but we know those backups are going to see time. And with David Walker going out with that injury, going to be out for the season, Chris Brazwell, we want to see that game go to another level when it comes to that pass rush. But he does bring different elements to the game as well. He's very strong, he's very physical, and can set the edge like a Yaya Diaby can. Maybe not to that level yet, but he's very strong, very physical. And while he did not get any sacks in this game, he did still make some good plays and put on some good tape. And here's an example right here. Chris Brazwell is here at the top of your screen. So I'll just let it play, and you can just watch him blow up. So there's the pulling guard right there, and he just blows him up. He does not give any ground. 76, 300 plus pounds. Chris Brazwell probably sitting around 240. Just blows him up, does not give any ground, like I said, and that kind of just ruins the run play for the Titans right here. Just completely blown up after that. And that's Chris Brazwell holding his ground on a 300 plus pound guy and just not giving him anything. So just because you don't see any sacks, I want to see sacks too, especially against backup offensive linemen from Chris Brazwell. He's still making plays that just look great on film. I'll run that back one more time. Let's give Chris Brazwell some love. We need him to show up for us. Let's show him some love. Boom. Blown up. All right, we're getting into like late third quarter, fourth quarter ball right now, and I'm still good with the guys we have on defense right here. And this is what I continue to speak about depth. Bryce Hall, obviously, horrible injury in week 1 of last year, was expected to be a major contributor at outside corner, and boy, did we need him. He's still out here. Don't forget about him. Know he's coming back from a really, really tough injury, but he's still on this team and provides a ton of depth. Jose Ramirez, seen him before. Marquise Watts, seen him before. Mike Green has had some but playing time in actual regular season. Nick Jackson, we saw him in game 1. It was impossible to miss him. John Bullock, his undrafted linebacker partner. They looked good. Just as a duo in some depth. Got Shiloh back here at safety. We got J.J. Roberts here. And an insane game that he had. I mean, we talked about him being an undrafted free agent. That's an absolute steal, getting J.J. Roberts as an undrafted free agent. So many mocks had him getting drafted. We ended up getting him as an undrafted free agent. Come on, man. So we'll watch this play right here. Nick Jackson ends up coming on a blitz. Your typical Todd Bowles right up the middle like Levante David has done in the past couple years. Devin White years before that. And it works out. All you got to do is beat that running back, which he gets right around him, and bring the quarterback down. And you're making a play. You're making a play for your team. And that's exactly what Nick Jackson did here. So we'll watch the other angle here so we can see how he gets around that running back. And it's just very athletic, very clean, all in one motion. And there you go. Quarterback is, not getting out of that. Continuing with the Nick Jackson show, and John Bullock. He made as big of a play as Nick Jackson did on this one. So, hey, that undrafted linebacker duo is looking pretty nice so far. I mean, Nick Jackson, he led the team in tackles, had a sack, had an interception, 2 TFLs. What else can you ask from the undrafted linebacker? So, same thing here. Nick Jackson's coming on the blitz. It seems like John Bullock, his assignment was the running back, but the running back ends up just blocking. He doesn't go out on a route or anything like that. So once he sees that, he attacks too. This time Nick Jackson wasn't able to get around the running back off that initial push, but look who does. John Bullock gets after the quarterback, puts a hand in the air, deflection, and Nick Jackson with a one-handed interception. We must watch that one back. Watch this move by John Bullock just to get through the mess, just to get through the dirtiness of this offensive line. Excuse me, pardon me. Let me tip that and let my brother make a one-handed play. Come on now. Come on now. Continuing with this defense, I like what this defense was putting on film. J.J. Roberts just gave a little, spiel about him. Let's see him make a play. Absolute steal, getting him as a depth safety. No chance he doesn't make this team, whether it be 53 or practice squad. He just looks too good. Between the joint practices and what he put on film in preseason game 1, he looks really good. Probably would have been a good idea for quarterback to go right here, but J.J. Roberts is reading his eyes and he's staring this down. And he jumps right in front of it, seals off the receiver. No chance to make this catch. If anyone catches it, it's going to be J.J. Roberts. It ends up being a pass breakup. Probably could have and should have been an interception. You can tell by his reaction right there. But still, being able to read the quarterback's eyes, see that he's staring down the middle of the field, jump in front of the receiver, seal him off completely. You're not catching this, bro. Great work. Great work. You can tell everyone wanted him to pick that off. Don't worry. It'll come later. It'll come later. J.J. Roberts right here. Tyreek Thunderberg right here. Thunderberg obviously had to play a lot more than we probably would have liked last year. Undrafted free agent, coming from a group of 5 school in Appalachian State. I mean, Todd Bowles raved about him during, training camp and things like that, but it's a lot of pressure to put a guy like that out here as a starter in the NFL. I hope to see a bunch of improvement. Great instincts right here to make this interception, but the play was made by J.J. Roberts with another pass breakup. So we'll let this one run here. And just watching his guy holding that inside leverage, quarterback looking this down, some good pressure here. Can't tell who that is. Quarterback lets go of it. J.J. Roberts smothering this receiver. Doing enough. Like, it's quite literally perfect. He's not grabbing and holding him too much for a flag to be thrown. But he's doing just enough. Being physical, just enough to cause that pass breakup. The ball just floats in the air. And here's Thunderberg down here watching it all play out and being there to make the play. He holds on to it, and the boys go celebrate. I'm going to enjoy these next 2 games watching this defensive depth. I did not think I would be saying that. I really didn't. All right, so this play is already starting here. Connor Bazelak is getting ready to hand it off to Owen Wright, who is trying to score his 3rd touchdown of the game, but his first to that counts because the first 2 both got called back due to penalties. So Owen Wright, he looks like he has some juice too. 4th string guy with Josh Williams being out with injury, who should be back, so that's good news, adding some more depth and giving another guy a chance for these next 2 games, but able to break off this tackle, hit that hole, and that's easy touchdown right there for Owen Wright. Get another look here. Great work right here. I mean, Keefe, he's going to do what Keefe does. And he owed Owen Wright, honestly, because one of those penalties, I believe, was on Keefe for being too aggressive in the blocking game. So there's the hole right here. Only real Bucs fans will know this. He gives, Owen Wright I'm talking about, he gives a little bit of Bobby Rainey vibes. Bobby Rainey vibes. Short, kind of stocky, got some juice. I feel like he just runs like Bobby Rainey too. That's just the name that comes to my mind when I see Owen Wright run. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments down below. Your guys' thoughts on the film session. If you guys want to see something maybe a little more advanced, a little more in depth than even this is. But like I said, trying to make it digestible to everyone. Entertaining, and just going over these key plays in the game where guys, showed out, looked good, and these guys deserve a shout out. Even though it's preseason, even though they're backups, might not even make the team, they were out here putting their bodies on the line and winning a game handedly. So give these guys a shout out. Thank you so much for watching. Go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay.